Liverpool 5, West Ham 2, a scoreline that doesn't tell the story of the game whatsoever. Massively flatters Liverpool. We just had loads of deflected goals conceded. Set pieces, a big problem, which we'll get into, of course. But I mean, possession-wise, we had more than them. XG, we actually created more than they did. The scoreline just doesn't tell the story of the game. Now, I didn't watch the game live, hence the late reaction/review video. However, I did watch the whole game back. And I actually hate doing that. It's an awful thing to have to do when you know the score, you know the scorers, you know exactly what happens, but you've got to watch the whole game. It's pretty awful. But I did do it. I like to watch every single game. However, this scoreline really did flatter Liverpool. I mean, the first goal was deflected. Not a massive deflection, of course. The volley or shot from Ekatike was going towards goal anyway. Of course it was. But Hermansen couldn't exactly react to it because it took a touch off, I think it was Mavropanos, straight away, completely changed the direction of the ball and made it impossible for him to save it. Van Dijk's goal was a set-piece problem. We really did have set-piece problems in this game. McAllister's goal, again, not too many complaints about that goal, I'd say. Gakpo's goal, another deflected goal. And then Disasi own goal, obviously another deflection. I guess you just get more luck like that if you have more shots, which Liverpool did. They had more shots in this game. They had 18 shots, we had 11. They had 7 shots on target, we had 4. That's what you get for just having more goes. And that is what happened, essentially. I do think the scoreline massively flattered Liverpool, but there were some performances that weren't the best from us. I mean, I do think in terms of their performances, players like Ekatike had a great game. He's really good, so dangerous. Every time he gets on the ball, so dangerous. I thought both their centre-backs were quite good. Their centre midfielders were quite good. I don't think Salah was great. Hasn't been for a while, though. Neither of their fullbacks were particularly good. But from our side, you had some really poor performances. Summerville couldn't get on the ball and couldn't do what he's been doing in previous weeks. He couldn't get at his fullbacks. And this was a game where they were playing Joe Gomez at right-back. A right-back that could really be got at. But it just didn't happen. Summerville never got the ball in the right position to do it. And when he did, it just didn't really work. Another performance that was really poor. A rare poor performance from him as well. an-Bissaka. Really, really poor performance. I thought he was awful defensively. He just kept standing off of Gakpo. And Gakpo's not some crazy, tricky winger that you need to give space. Not like a Doku, who you can't get too close to, can't get too tight to, because he'll just jink and get past you. Gakpo's not that. He's not a winger that's going to take on his man and like beat you with pace or trickery. He's just not that. You can quite easily get tight to him and not let him do too much. But I really didn't think he was too good. Rio, when he come on, Rio Ungamoa, or however you pronounce his name, he is that type of winger. He will get at you. He will beat you. So I completely get when you defend like that to him. But against Gakpo, there's no need to defend the way wan-Bissaka was. I thought he had a really poor game. Really unlike him, actually. Bowen, just giving you what Bowen does. He didn't do loads in the game, but he always applies himself. You can't really knock his application. You can't knock him trying because he always does. I thought Taty took his goal really, really well, because that came at him fast and he had to make a really quick decision and get his head onto it. And that's where we've seen him in the past, in the most recent weeks, or since he's come to the club really, he's struggled with that. We know that he's going to put himself about. We know that off the ball, he is sensational. He will be all over the centre-backs. But on the ball sometimes, maybe when he's got too much time typically, but on the ball, he can really lack quality sometimes. And I don't doubt that that will get there. I don't doubt that that will improve. But I did think that in the Liverpool game, he was a bit better in that sense. Like I say, he took the header really, really well. I thought Fernandes had an okay game. He always does, to be honest. Maybe not one of his best games, but he didn't play badly, I don't think. Souček, again, he was okay. He took his goal really, really well. The timing of his run was fantastic. Juice ball in was a joke. Juice left foot is just unbelievable. Defensively, he was okay. I mean, Salah didn't have a lot, but there was times where defensively he still wasn't great. But again, that's not really his game. We know that he's not the best defensively. But going forward, his balls in are insane. And that ball to Souček for his goal was fantastic. Some performances that weren't, I mean, the defenders, the centre-backs, I don't think they were horrific. I don't think they did loads of bad things. It's difficult when there's a load of deflected goals and Disasi scores an own goal that wasn't really he didn't do anything wrong, really. It's just bad luck as such. However, set pieces, we weren't great from set pieces at all. Every time they put a set piece in, it looked like it was going to trouble us, and it pretty much did trouble us every single time. So that's something we need to work on and look at. However, if you were to say to me at the start of this weekend that us, Nottingham Forest and Tottenham would all score the same amount of points, we'd come out of it unscathed essentially, then I'd have bitten your hand off for that. We played Liverpool, Nottingham Forest played Brighton, and Spurs played Fulham. So we had the hardest fixture out of the 3 teams, and we've all come out of it with exactly the same amount of points. I would absolutely take that. I don't mind that at all. And realistically, we didn't look like the worst team out of those 3 teams either. Spurs were horrendous again, as they always are, and as they have been for a while now. They don't look threatening at all. They don't look like they're playing for the manager. Even their better players, their captain on the day recently, Mickey van der Ven, he looks checked out. He looks done. He looks like he has no care for trying to get out of this hole that Spurs are in. And they are in a hole. It's bad. They did manage to get a goal in the end, but Fulham could have scored way more. Fulham could have scored way more than they did. It was actually lucky for Spurs that it wasn't worse. However, they still didn't pick up points. It's not looking good for Spurs. And like I say, I don't mind this weekend's results. We came out of it no worse off after playing Liverpool, the best team in those fixtures. Fulham, granted, they are playing very good football, Fulham, and it is going to be difficult for us this midweek because we've obviously got Fulham. I don't expect to get loads. We're away at Fulham as well, which is tough. I don't necessarily expect to get loads, but objectively it's an easier fixture than Liverpool is. Even though Liverpool haven't really been at it this season, it's still an easier fixture than Liverpool away. So I was worried that Spurs would get something from that game. Brighton are so hit and miss as well. I was worried that Nottingham Forest would get something from that game. And they didn't actually look that bad, Forest, to be honest. They didn't look as bad as Spurs do. And I think that has kind of been the case for a while, where we've actually looked the best team out of the 3 in the last month or so. Forest, then second in that sense. And then Spurs have looked the worst, which is why it's so interesting, because in the table, it's the flip of that, essentially. So it'll be really interesting to see what happens in the next week or so, because I still think that we look like the better team out of any of these. Like I say, that scoreline doesn't do us justice, really. I think that was more of a 3-2 game than a 5-2 game, to be honest. But Spurs still look poor, Forest still look poor, so there's actually positives to take from this weekend, even though we lost 5-2. But yeah, this Fulham game on Wednesday, I think it is going to be a really, really tough one, where Spurs are playing Palace, which this is a really good time to play at Palace. They look fatigued at the moment. Lacroix, their centre-back, is suspended as well. So this is a really good time to play Palace. So I do expect Spurs to actually pick up some points despite looking really bad in that game. It's a tough fixture for Forest as well. They've got City away, and City going forward look really good right now. City do look like they can be got at defensively, don't get me wrong. But going forward, they look on it. Hopefully Haaland's fit for this as well. He missed the last game. But hopefully we can come out of these midweek games a little bit closer to either Spurs or Forest. Maybe it's Spurs that we should care about more, because they look like the worst team out of all of us. But that is all for this one. If you liked the video, make sure you hit like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you check out the Fulham review video that I'll be doing on the night after the game. And I'll see you in that one.